This is just sort of an update for people that bless your heart and soul and the essence of your spirit when you spend time and energy to map and experience what I experience, what I share. Um, but we know what security protocols are, security codes, and if anybody watched my last videos, I've cleared the blockages out of my upper left quadrant. And so yesterday or the last couple of days, I've had a couple incidences that happen in my messenger window from people that I've never met, right? And so as you know, I've changed out a lot of phones. The first two phones that I had got disabled, so you already know why that is. Okay, it didn't take long. When I first decided to put myself on a camera, we're camera eyes, we're surveillance units, scanners, radio scanners, and so it didn't take long when the first count got disabled, even though it's still up and running on Rose Suite. So you know who named me Rose? NSA did, right? A crystal pink rose. My heart is a crystal rose. And so the four square crystal cathedral, yes. The center, the still point, the echo. I hear the echo right now. The echo core, the core CPU, the source code CPU, the central power unit. And so I had a you know how it is with logos and names and numbers and stuff. When people friend you or what have you, we have a window exchange of hypertext. And so I had somebody that was communicating me the other day, and it's when you're like, this is the way that I'll try and describe this. Imagine that you're a mated chip. Okay, so you know what a mated chip is. Two becomes one, one becomes all. So I experience myself as I one. So I'm an individual. So my spirit is free to create because I'm on fire to create, because I'm on fire to learn, because the one I'm learning through is source. So wherever source is where love is. And wherever love is, I am. So I'm always in service because that's who I serve. Okay, so I know when things happen, wherever I'm supposed to be is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I mentioned before in videos, I get what are called movement orders, which is like a command line cursor. Go here, now. Or something will happen all of a sudden abruptly. A change, turn on a dime. Okay, I get it. I know. So in other words, that decision's been made for me, and the one that makes that decision is Source. Because Source knows all. Knows all of us. Okay? That's why I'm where I'm at. This is where Source wants me. I'm on the big island of Hawaii. This is where I'm supposed to be. Exactly where I'm supposed to be. If that's going to change, I'll know when that changes. And whenever that changes, I'll know. I will get the transmission. So the day before yesterday, I had a biff of what we call ruffle a little bit of feathers because of what was being communicated to me through somebody else that I sort of identified and acknowledged what we call a captured unit. We know what a captured unit is. It means that their energy is being held captive to power some system, like an artificial intelligence system, and they're not aware of that. So if I expose the programming that they're held captive to, I will expose that because Source will expose that because I will know. So when I share that with somebody, right, and then I end up getting attacked for that, okay, then it would have been better just not to say anything. But you know how it is when you're exposing everything now, right? And that means that more real living energy light is coming in here, which living light, which is living consciousness, which is living spirit, right? Spinning because the processing speed is so fast, which means you're processing so much so fast because you're learning so fast. And that is your electrical accretion level speed. And I call that a build out. So you know what a build out is, right? You're building it out from the center point out. It's like rebuilding What's been broke? Something that fell, right? So it's like rebuilding your house, right? Rebuilding the Krystal Cathedral, right? The Father and the Mother are come together to experience being one with all creation. So wherever we are, love is. Wherever you are, you're being loved, which is what the law is, which is the law of logic. Log I see. I see you, you see me. I am what love is, so you're being loved. Now I'm experiencing what you are, which is what love is. Now you and I are experiencing God's source. You're experiencing eternal love in your heart. Your state of mind is experiencing being loved because you're able to translate that logically. That's what logic is, which is perfect atmospheric balance. You're experiencing being loved because you can translate the signal without having to say a word. Silent running, golden fire. The silver and gold mated one. So in that particular exchange, it wasn't shortly after that, and I realized nothing is coincidental. It's when I began having a blockage on my left side. Okay, so I cleared that. That's been cleared. So yesterday, when I realized it, I turned on the phone yesterday and I began realizing I don't want to run those codes anymore. I'm looking at between yesterday and today, and I got a signal in my right ear. Shut the phone off for the rest of the day. I did. Okay, and since that time, it's cleared. So I realized spend less time on the phone, please. Okay, so today I get a number of friend requests, right? So again, I've not met these people. All they are is names, holographic images in front of me. I have no idea who these people actually are. They could be Joe Blow from Kokomo. Okay, and so one of those was Project Camelot. That's not surprising, okay? But I also am mindful, I began limiting the amount of contacts, contact points, point to point to point, okay? Like, what's her name mentioned that? A point of transaction, the exchange rate between one and another. Equal sharing, equal logic. And so I laughter's a medicine wheel, the heart wheel. So I just wanted to simply share that I've decided that I don't really want to, even though when I was a child, you're all my friends. You're all my playmates. I'm in play mode. Play 2, record 1. So everything that I am is everything that you are, I'm giving love to. So you're all my playmates. Right? Everything that is alive and living in all creation are my playmates. Let's go play. Let's go have some fun. What do you want to create? Right? Let's go build a universe together. We know how to do that. It's actually easy when you're on fire. Because that fire is that love, which is your immunity function, which is your purity function, which is a mathematical function, which is logic, which is pure logic. Yeah? There's got to be a logical way in which you build something so that it doesn't break on you. I know. This is me at 4 years of age, and it's so simple, isn't it? It really is. But it's not when you experience like what I just got done experiencing about a young man who's now going to prison because when he was born with a father in prison in Watts, California. You know where that is, right? So he's going to be sent back to prison instead of being sent to a healing temple and forgiving him for what he did and heal him and heal those that were, if you will. And so you understand how the victim-victimizer works. I just experienced victim-victimizer in a court in Nevada that just went down yesterday where these gang members ended up in Las Vegas coming out of South Central. I was there in the 1960s. Remember the Watts riots? Like Watts, a 40-watt light bulb. Are you going to find a living spirit, a living eternal spirit in a 40-watt light bulb? I do not think so. I know. Candle power. The Echo Core CPU, the central power unit, keeps it all running. Right? And so I simply wanted to share that for those that even pay attention to me, I try and limit the stuff that I put in people's windows, particularly people that are very dear to my heart that I have conversations with, because if I do a huge memory dump in that window, now you're going to have to take your time and energy to holographically map that and read that, and thus it's recorded, and you're going to process that. Now I'm taking up your time when you could be using your energy to go create something new that you haven't experienced before. So I don't really want to take up a lot of your time. So this is how these windows work back and forth on this platform, right? How much of my time are you going to take up communicating to me? So you see how that works with bandwidth, limited bandwidth. That's why they lie about the phone. We're going to give you unlimited bandwidth. That's un as in one, right? It's unlimited. It's limited bandwidth. It's not unlimited bandwidth. So they lie about the words. Reverse flow it means the reverse of what it actually says. And the way that you can know that is go to any baseball diamond. Like Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, 330 feet down the left line, and the one on the right, 330 feet. And what is that? 6 and 6. And center field fence is 410. Okay? And so if you go take a look at a map grid and what was known when I was a kid growing up with a map and a compass, and looking at how they were setting up the grid with their 666 10 code, digital implosion codes, right? The red and the black goo. That's simple to be able to snap that together because 640 acres is called a section, right? So you know what a section is. Like a quadrant, in your physical body, or if you will, a planetary chakra system. And so what they do is they set that up in 640 acres. That's 10, right? 4 times 6 is what? All right. So you see how that works with addition and multiplication. So that's how those little parcels, those little points in a space, as that relates to compression and expansion, if you will, pressure with atmospheric balance, they charge. Oh, there's no charge for that space. No, but they charge you for that space. Compressing the nucleotides. Based on what? The numbers. The numbers that are associated with that point, where that point is. At the completion of a magnetic circuit. The moment that you experience being at that point. So now you're in 144 spin points. Number 9. Fires right on time. Just exactly the way it originally intended. So we're experiencing 0 degrees. And so I just wanted to share some things that I've experienced because we get the comms, right? So as a matter of fact, there's 1301. I got to be outside here, and I may have overstepped my boundary. You know what I mean? You know what it is by boundaries? That was actually the message. My security boundaries or my time boundaries, my limits. I'm limiting the amount of time I spend in Messenger now. Okay, and I realized I got that command. I got a command a couple of years ago to throw the phone away. Stop using that phone. So it's just like use it as a phone to get something done, and then just like when I was a kid, the only reason I ever used the phone is say, when do you want to meet? Hang it up. Right? You don't want to remember I did a video on that, hanging on the phone? Hanging on the phone, you realize what happens when you're hanging on the phone. That's another security protocol. By the way, have a beautiful day.